shall we say, cone with a triangle. A peak is when you, I'm just going to draw a triangle like this, and this part here is the peak. Okay, so it doesn't seem I have a graph here yet, but when I see a peak in this presentation, I think it will be later on. All right, yeah, here it is. This is a peak. Okay, the tip of the mountain, the top of the mountain, this part, a peak. Okay, sharp is a very large increase. Sharp is large, or a dramatic increase. Okay, by the way, when you add these letters in the parentheses or in the brackets to the word, it turns it from an adjective to an adverb. So, sharp increase, that's adjective. It increases sharply, that's an adverb. So, sharp increase, or it increases sharply, dramatically, or dramatic. Considerable, the one mentioned in the last slide, considerably. Steady, steadily. What's considerable? It's very sharp. But steady is, okay, it's a steady increase that is a straight line. It's not increase, decrease, increase, decrease, okay? Slightly, or slight, very small. Gentle, very small. Gradual also is like slightly. So I'm just going to group these words together here, like this. That's slightly, gently, and gradually, okay? Sharply, dramatically, and considerably. I would also say significant, or significantly. I'm just going to write this one down. Here. Significantly, of course, the ly at the end is added, or are added, to indicate an adverb. Significant or significantly. Steadily, steadily, a steady rise. Slightly, gently, gradually, and relatively. Relatively is nisbiyan. Then we can say remain the same and reach a plateau, remain stable, remain stay constant. All of these words here mean the same. Something has been rising, or was rising, and then it became stable. This is called a plateau. Plateau. Okay, in Arabic I think it's called hadawa. Alright? Hadawa. Reach a peak is this one, of course, and hit for the lowest point is an inverted peak. So this is the peak and this is the lowest point. This is a cone. No. You know what I mean, okay? This is the lowest point. Alright, this part here. This is the lowest point, or a trough. Okay? Some people like to call it, but I think that's too scientific. Trough, okay, is the lowest point in there. Don't use it. Just say it reaches the lowest point in 1987 or something. Okay? Let's move on to the next one and try to guess what every one of these is. This is a sharp fall. Okay? You can see that the graph is very steep, so it's a sharp fall, or a significant fall. Okay? A significant decrease. What about this one? Now, if I draw a line here, like this, it seems steady. Okay? There is a bit of fluctuations. There are a bit of fluctuations, but overall, it seems steady. So, maybe I would say a steady rise. Okay? Be very careful. It's not rice. Okay? Rice is what we eat at lunch. Rice. No, it's rise. Rise. It's not like rice. This is absolutely wrong. Okay? So this is wrong. Try not to make that mistake. It's rise. This is maybe a plateau or steady. Let's take a look at what it can be. Remain stable or remain stable. Okay. Or if we are going to find a noun remain the same, which okay. So remain stable. Okay. Or a stability. Istiqrar. What about this one? It reaches a peak. Reaches okay, or just peaks. It peaks at something. And remember, it's not peaks. This is also completely wrong. Peaks, this one is when you look through a keyhole. Let's assume that this is a door and this is the doorknob here. Okay, and below it there is a keyhole in which you put your keys to open the door. When you take a look here to see what's on the other side of the room, you are peeking. You are peeking. But this is a P-E-A-K, which is peak here. So, what's that? I think it's also a sharp rise, but let's use other words. So, a dramatic increase. Here, it can be a slight fall, okay, or maybe a gentle fall. Here, a gentle fall, or a gradual fall. Maybe, let's say, a gradual decrease, or a gentle drop. Okay, all of these words can be used here. Let me expand this one. Alright, I hope you can read it here. Slide 4, a gradual decrease or a gentle drop. Now let's take a look at the axes again. The axes are these. Mahawar. University years and the number of overseas students. If you did, or if you fail to understand the axes well, you can talk about a point that is not in the graph, which means that you will lose lots of marks. You must show the examiner that you know what the axes represent, but you do not need to describe these axes in your answer. So you must show him that you know, but without writing it. So you mention it, so you say, don't say that the x-axis is the number of years or the years from 1960 to 2000 and the y-axis is the number of car owners in millions. No. Say that the number of car owners has increased dramatically from, I think that's 1 million to 25 million over the period from 1960 to 2000. That's it. One sentence that describes this graph. Very simple, very simple. So, this trend looks very simple, as I said, but it's not. Let's see. Is the graph about people or vehicles? See here, car owners. I really hope you can twist your neck to the right here. Okay? Anyway, let's mark this one. This is the car owners in that he means people. It's not cars, it's car owners. Be very careful of this. So the number of car owners has increased dramatically. What do the numbers along the horizontal axis represent? The years, okay, the flow of years from 1960 to 2000. What do the numbers on the vertical axis? The number of car owners in millions. So we're not seeing here How many car owners in Britain? 1. Okay, it's 1 million, not 1. Write a short general statement about the car ownership in Britain. I think we have already done that. Let's do it again. The number of car owners, alright? Or maybe, okay, car owners in Britain has risen dramatically from 1 million to, let me just take it, has risen from 1 to 25 million, from 1 million to 25 million in the period between 1960 and 2000. Now remember that this can be a bit of an old test, alright? Which means, which is why I said over the period between 1960 and 2000. It's very likely that the test that you will receive will have, let's say, since this course is being recorded in 2015, so instead of 2000, let's say 2015. Here we are. So 2015. So you can say from 1960 to 2015, what's that? Let me just break out my calculator. That's about 55 years, okay? So instead of saying in the period between, okay, just going to put a bracket here and a bracket at the end, and just say over the last 55 years, alright, or whatever the number is. So 2005, that's 45, 55, over the last 55 years, has risen over the last 55 years. This is an easy way to mention the increase instead of just saying from 1960 to 2015. Okay. Now include the time period. Use since 1960 over a 40-year period between 1960 and 2000. All of these can be used to state this range here. Now include the number of car owners in both sentences. Okay. Let's write a sentence that describes what each of the graph below is about, then describe the trend we can see in the graph. First, we need to see the trend. So we first draw very simple lines that simplify how the graphs are. And this is a steady increase. So you can see that I can simplify these graphs using very simple straight lines. So the number, let's take a look at here. The number of grocery stores closed, thousands, in the thousands, okay? This is that in thousands. Right? The numbers of grocery stores closed in thousands has dropped dramatically from 1950 until so, and then they reach a plateau. Okay, so let's carry on. I'll just my break. 45 minutes. So, again, when we take a look at the first graph here, we're seeing the number of grocery stores closed in thousands, and it appears that these are years. Again, years. Most of the time, we will be taking a look at years. So, between 150 grocery stores closed. So, let's see here. The trend is first sharp fall, then maybe a stabilization. So if I'm going to describe the first graph, what would I say? 150 from maybe 140? No, 130, 40, 50 from about 145 maybe. Okay, to this part 30. I'm just going to draw a horizontal line. Don't forget to bring your ruler to the test to be able to see these small variations. So 30 to 60, that's about 45. So I'm just going to open a new whiteboard. The number of grocery stores closed, okay, fell sharply, okay, in or from 145 to 45 million or thousand, sorry, 145 to 45,000, okay, in the period between 1960, 61, 71. So in the period from 61, let's say that this is 50, or yeah, let's assume that this is 50. From 1950 to 1980. In the period between 1950, okay, and 1980. Alright? I think this is not a very nice one. How about we say it fell sharply, or it fell from 145 to 45,000, maybe by 100,000. Okay, the number of grocery stores closed fell by 100,000 from 145,000, so fell sharply by 100,000, okay, to 45,000 in 45,000 stores, or 45,000 in the period between 1950 and 1980. Maybe, right? Or from, again, from 145,000 to 45,000. Remember not to repeat this thousand information again. Now after that they reached a plateau or a slight decrease, then a plateau. So this followed a slight decrease in the period between 1980 and 1991, followed by a plateau, followed by a plateau till 1995 at 40,000. So this was followed by a very gentle decrease over the next from 1980 to 1991, over the next 11 years or so. Over the next 11 years, all right, a very gentle decrease over the next 11 years, and or after which the number stabilized at 40,000. At 40,000, okay, from 1991, not 1911, 1991 onwards. Okay? Is it difficult to do something like that? Not at all. Alright? So you say that there was a sharp drop here followed by a very slight or very gentle decrease over that period, and then it plateaued at this one. Alright? What about the next one? The rise in types of products stocked by supermarkets. The rise in the types of products stocked by supermarkets. First, they were stocking 550 types of products in 1950, and then right until 1995, they stocked 19,000. So, you can say that this rise is going very quickly. 550 to 200 for, I think that this should have an additional 0 next to it. So it's not 200, it's 2,000. Okay? So it's 4,000, 7,000, 14,000 and 19,000. Don't mention every number just like that. Right? Try to draw a curve and follow it. So, maybe the most dramatic, now of course something else you need to notice is that the largest increase was between these two. Alright? The largest increase was between these two. So, let's say that the number of products stocked يخزن, okay, in supermarkets has risen dramatically, right, between 1950 and 1995, with the largest, okay, increase being, with the largest increase being what, from 7,000 to 14,000, that's double, being 7,000 products between 1980 and 1990. You also, I think you also want to include the fact that the number of products between this and that, 7,000 to 14,000, doubled. Being 7 products between 1980 to 1990, okay, making, or with the largest increase being 7,000 products between 1980 and 1990, which, the largest increase, which doubled the number of products on the shelves over that period. Alright, which doubled the number of products on the shelves, or just number of products without on the shelves, doesn't matter, over that period. Okay, so please notice these really strange, shall I say, mutations, or these very strange, and out of the ordinary changes. Okay, 7,000 to 14,000, that's a very large increase, and you should never miss this one. What about this one? Supermarkets built. Grocery stores closed. Supermarkets and supermarkets. I have a bad feeling that it's not that grocery stores closed, it's the number of grocery stores, just that. Okay, so it's that the number of grocery stores kept being reduced over and over again here, okay, until they reach a plateau. So in 1991 we have 40 grocery stores. Alright? Anyway, I think you get the point. The graphs will be much clearer than this in the test. The grocery stores, or the number of grocery stores in the thousands, okay, has fallen dramatically over this period. What about this one? Supermarkets built. The number of supermarkets built has seen a steady rise, all right, in the period between 1984, I think that's 1984, because that's 1985, so that's definitely 1984, 84, here, right? Let me just make that font a bit smaller. Here, 84, and the rise is dramatic here, or steady, but you can notice here that there is, shall we say, an increase in the rising trend. First, it was going like this. Here, if we trace this line, it will be something like this. But suddenly, it had risen to be something much steeper. So, the number of supermarkets built has seen a steady climb. Climb is increase. A steady climb. Okay? With the trend becoming even steeper in 87. In 87. Alright? So maybe it has seen a steady climb from, let's say here, from 400, I think, 400 to 1050, 1020, something like that. Alright? With the trend becoming steeper in 87. A steady climb from 400 stores, sorry, it's not 1,000, okay, from 400 stores, from 400, okay, with the trend becoming even steeper in 87 to reach 1020 supermarkets in 1996 or 96. Okay, I'm just going to move this one to the whiteboard, or those two.